Boom, we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Life as a Chad YouTube channel. And I thank all of you for being here, wherever you may be. And of course, however you may be listening. Some very interesting content happened over the weekend between Andrew Tate, infamous red pill, infamous manosphere, even though I'm not sure he would state that he is in the manosphere, versus very famous Twitch streamer xQc. I will right off the bat state that I had never watched any xQc before this, and I probably won't be watching any of his stuff after this. And for good reason. I'm not surprised I haven't come across his stuff. And, number one, I'm not a huge gamer. And number two, I do not subscribe to his worldview. But I do think that this was an excellent discussion that put on full display, the two dominant trains of thought when it comes to interpersonal dynamics. And you're going to see very early on which side I lean closer to. But I thought that this was a great display of this. It really dichotomized both sides very, very well, and gave us some access into their thinking. So we're going to be diving into this. I'm going to be playing a little bit of the clips and giving you my thoughts on it as well. And without further ado, let's get into this. So it's important to note, and I want to state this from the get-go, that both of these guys are not the norm. They are not the average, okay? Andrew Tate is a self-proclaimed multi-millionaire. He might even say he's a billionaire. I don't know. And this xQc guy, quite frankly, this dude has hit the fucking lottery with the Twitch stream, the income from the Twitch stream, and the type of life that he is living. From my understanding, xQc, I didn't do a ton of digging into this, don't really care, has a girlfriend who is also a Twitch streamer. And there is a reaction video that Andrew Tate does with his brother where they talk about it after, and they show a clip of xQc's girl dancing on another guy. Take that for what you will. But I do think that that gives a little bit of insight into xQc's frame of mind and Andrew Tate's frame of mind. Again, I'm saying this because on both extremes, none of this completely applies to the average guy, okay? One way or the other. But I do think that if you are going to go one side all in, there is a better side to go, and I will explain that. All right, let's start listening to this.
Your main arguments and go down them and start disintegrating them the way you do. I've never seen that before, man. I don't know how you can even justify this. You say never go clubbing, and then there's exceptions. There are exceptions that actually happen. Okay, that girl. Okay, but they're all going to the club together, right? My girl can't tag along. No, she can't. She cannot partake. She cannot partake in social activities that make her feel fulfilled socially. She can't. She can't, because that club is designed for people to fuck, right? So she can't go in there or close to it, right? Dude, so many more places are designed to fuck, and more people get fucked out of them. So how does that make sense?
It's your prerogative what you want to do inside of your.
So the question here, more or less, is if your girl wants to go to a club, is that okay? As a man, what type of mindset are you going to have in that type of situation? And Andrew Tate is a guy who will use the example of, if you have a Lamborghini, are you going to park your Lamborghini in the worst part of town and just allow it to sit there without knowing the consequence? That would be dumb as fuck if you did that. It really, really would. And obviously, when he says the Lamborghini, he's comparing that to women. Now, of course, guys like xQc, when they hear that, they get all frantic, because lo and behold, comparing a woman to this, that's just not okay. Whereas xQc is the type of guy who would say, well, no, a sign of me not being jealous, due to the thousands of girls who have said this in the past to me. But remember, fellas, don't listen to what women say. Only watch what they do. If you're truly going to base your thoughts on something, don't do it on what they say. Only watch what they do. But xQc would say, well, a sign that I'm not jealous would be that I just allow her to go, and what happens is what happens. And Andrew Tate, of course, says, okay, well, watch what happens when she slides into my section. Okay.
Your own relationship. I'm only explaining.
It's not a prerogative. I want you to explain that.
Sure, I will explain again. No problem. Firstly, you just gave a very particular scenario. So now you're.
That's important, because if you say all, then it has to be all the specifics.
Say my girl
all
doesn't.
means.
When I say my girl doesn't go clubbing, I mean she doesn't go clubbing, right? So it means she does not go out all the weekend. She ain't partying anytime she wants. She doesn't go clubbing. Let's imagine there's a particular birthday for a girl, and this girl is a girl I know, and I think she's a pretty good influence, and she's not a bad girl, and they all want to go to the club, and I drop her off and I pick her up. Then that is a scenario in which it possibly could happen once a year.
Then why do you say all?
And that's important because, again, Andrew's example there of what he might be okay with is him basically stating that, giving an example where he still has influence. He still has power over the decision and the parameters of it. He is setting boundaries. And that is what Andrew is big on, is setting, as the man, setting boundaries for the relationship, which of course to xQc is not even thinkable.
Then if you agree on a scenario, then why do you say all? See, this is something that you always do, that when you're vocal about your mindset, that irritates me a little bit, right? Not personally, but just overall hearing that, is that when you say alls, right, and you're very, very hard about that when you're alone on camera, right, and you don't get interviewed or kind of argued. It's not.
Alls? I thought it was all. Okay. Anyways, let's get into it.
You say, but this scenario, but that one, but this one, but that one. How does that make sense, bro?
Because there are scenarios. Obviously, there are scenarios. Exceptions don't disprove rules. When I say my woman doesn't go clubbing, I mean she does not on the weekends be out clubbing. She does not message me, I'm at the club tonight, see you tomorrow. She does not do that. You're giving me a very particular set of scenarios. Maybe once if her friend had a birthday, maybe, yeah, perhaps. What we're talking about is different things. And I'm telling you why. You're trying to disprove me using exceptions in very, very unique scenarios.
That is one thing that xQc's frame of mind always does. The very leftist modern frame of thought is to come up with these low statistically probable, way outside the bounds examples in order to prove a point. When again, when you are making arguments, you're going off of generalities. You're not going off of the extremes. And that is something that the left and his worldview, and I'm not sure he would classify himself as the left, but that is what they do. They use the extremes in order to get you to inch closer to their argument and end up justifying your position a little bit further away from the position that you started with. Don't allow them to do that, because in the end, inching closer to them is the wrong direction.
I'm sitting here saying people are born with two eyes, and you're saying, no, some people are born with one eye. Yeah, that's true. But in general, when you say how many eyes does someone have, you say two. Now, if someone asks me how many eyes does someone have, and I say two, and you're to run along and go, I know someone with one eye, that does not make me fucking wrong. So you're just trying to use exceptions to disprove rules, and it doesn't work that way.
Damn, he's good.
Any woman who's with me, in general, if you were to ask her, does she go clubbing? The answer would be no. I'm Andrew's girl. I don't go to clubs without Andrew. Now, are there very particular scenarios?
And you know what? I agree with that. Anytime you see a chick who respects her man and therefore loves her man because she respects her man, she will not only say things like what Andrew just said, but she will take pride in being with that guy. And that's what this comes down to, is Andrew Tate's frame of mind is a frame of mind where it is all about being in a position where there is respect and therefore desire for the man. Whereas xQc is the type of guy who gives it all away from the onset in order to just get a little bit. Because in the end, a guy like xQc has a scarcity mindset and has had that scarcity mindset well before he was a Twitch streamer. And so anytime xQc gets in a relationship, in the back of his mind, he thinks to himself, oh, well, yeah, I got to let her do this. I got to let her do that. Because if he doesn't, in his mind, he won't get any in the first place. In xQc's mind, he is so far beneath the chick that he has to give every inch of the relationship. When the reality is, and I think xQc would disagree with this, women don't find that attractive in the first place. It's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? It's like you're trying to get this chick to be more attracted to you by giving her everything, but she would be attracted to you in the first place if you actually set some boundaries and parameters and had some respect for yourself.
Scenarios in which perhaps if a movie premiere and she's A-list and she has to go to a club for 15 minutes with security and I pick her up, yeah, sure. That's not the point we're fucking making. Any woman who's with me doesn't go to the club. And the most important point of all of this is she doesn't want to.
See, and if you guys watch this whole thing, you'll see basically in xQc's mindset, the guy has no position to set any boundaries. Not one. In fact, he will cognitively, in his dissidence, find a way in every possible scenario for the chick to hold some authority and for the guy to hold none. Because again, it comes from a mindset that he is a man, therefore he is not worthy. Therefore, everything he gets is a gift. It is just gifted to him rather than something that is earned, that he is more than capable of having and fulfilling.
I don't have to stop her.
Okay.
Go.
I'm not, this is an understatement, but understatements, literally. You could literally win bike races backwards with how fucking hard your backpack.
I mean, is it really so bad? Honestly, when you continue to play this clip and you really think, and most guys, if they're being honest with themselves, will be closer to where I'm at or where Andrew Tate is at on this than xQc. Only dorks and nerds are where xQc is at. But any guy who is remotely honest will say, yeah, of course it's okay for me to have boundaries. In fact, I need to have boundaries. But again, in xQc's mind, that's not the case because men are so unworthy, so inept that any boundary that they set for themselves that does not apply to the woman, that they cannot argue should have an equal response back, because of course everything's got to be equal. Of course everything's got to be equal. If they cannot argue that, well, then it's just not okay. It's just not right. Meanwhile, they will run through thousands of examples where it's okay for a chick to have things that only apply to them, but not to the guy.
Peddling it. It's insane the way that you revert your main arguments and go down them and start disintegrating them. The way you do I've never seen that before, man. I don't know how you can even justify
I've never seen that before, man.
this. You say never go clubbing, and then there's exceptions. There are exceptions that actually happen most most of the time.
Trash ask about guy best friend.
That we went out clubbing, it was for a reason. It had a reason behind it. It had something behind it, right? That wasn't, I'm gonna go out to see some other options and start fucking. Right? There's so many ways and reasons why people go to the club.
Bro. Like,
it's a social.
The last little bit that I'm going to play is the question regarding can men and women be friends? And again, because dorks like xQc, always try and finagle their way into minimizing or ripping the argument into a bunch of tiny different pieces so that one fits their narrative. Again, the question is, truly, can men and women truly be friends with zero desire of sex, the same way that men and men can be friends, or women and women can be friends, or a chick and a chick? Okay. I would say fuck no, absolutely not, because no matter what, the chick is subconsciously judging all the group of guys. I mean, fuck. I remember in high school, my group of guy friends, we would have multiple chicks who were always in and out of the group, and each chick would end up being with like each and every one of us, because it's just impossible. They're not true friends. They're there because they like the attention that they are given. They like to be around guys. They like to do what they do. And there's some aspect of it that is, of course, sexual, maybe not as much as the guys. And then the guys, of course, allow that chick to be there because they want to fuck her. It's that simple. It's that simple. Anybody who says otherwise is just fucking lying. And once you realize this, you really start to go even further down the rabbit hole and start to ask yourself, well, what about how does this exist in the workplace? Stuff like this. Once you really, that's why I always tell people ignorance is bliss. Are you sure you want to take the red pill? Because once you know all this, it really is, you can never see things the same again. Okay. And again, I would say no, hell no. Can a guy and a chick be friends the same way that they can with their own sex? It's just not possible, because in the end, the chick is unconsciously assessing and watching and seeing if the guy is going to obtain a certain level of success, a certain level of importance, and the guy is just seeing when she's available and if she shows any interest, so he can smash. All right, let's watch this.
Them as untested. A lot of things were untested previously. Like, how does that prove anything? What is that? New equals bad thing? Like, I don't know what that is.
New doesn't equal bad. New equals untested, which means you don't know. Nobody knows how this new societal paradigm is going to play out. I can only talk from my personal experience, and my personal experience is that when a woman has a bunch of male friends and a boyfriend, the relationship doesn't last very long. That's my personal experience. I've seen it happen 1,000.
I mean, guys out there, ask yourselves this, okay? Every social group that you have had, and I guarantee every single one of you have ran across this. Every dude who had a chick who hung around the guys and allowed that chick to be too loose, what happened? She always ends up sleeping with another guy. Very few exceptions is that the case, because that guy somehow is able to hold that down. But again, the reason why that happens is because each guy is looking for an opening to get that smash. Always. And as soon as they see a little inch, they are going to go for it. They're going to go for it. Me, the one serious relationship I have had in my life, I mean, I've had definitely one. I wouldn't consider the other two that. I would never bring her around my friends, ever. I would sometimes hang out with her and her friends, but I would never bring her around my friends, ever. And my guy friends never were around her. They knew better. And that's just what you got to do. It just is. I mean, it's like you're a guy and you own a candy store, and there's all this great candy inside. And then all of a sudden you bring 2 or 3 guys who just fucking love candy. They love it. You don't think they're going to try and get inside that fucking store? Are you stupid? Of course they are. They're absolutely going to try and get in that.
times.
Yeah, I mean, if you date some girl who's unfulfilled of you so much that she's willing to give other guys a chance and keep an open mind about who they're gonna date and who they're with, that they're gonna do that with people that they meet randomly.
But
Bro.
if she's fulfilled, she wouldn't have.
See, yet again, xQc is arguing for the side where it is impossible for guys to have boundaries. In other words, as a guy, you should just let the chick do whatever the fuck she wants. It's okay for her to have boundaries. You know, you go, girl, you set your boundaries, you set your limits. But guys, no, it's not okay. It's not okay.
Male friends. You're pretending that a girl can be fulfilled.
That's not true. That's not true.
Yes, it is.
What
That's
if
not
you
true.
already
That's
had
not
a
true.
friend before you, like
Oh, understood.
years ago?
Understood. I've been with women and they've had a friend for a very long time, but I make it very clear to them, look, he clearly likes you. And if she's honest, she'll like, yeah, I know. I keep my arm's length. And she's very honest and open with me about it. Oh, he just texts me trying to get me to go out. I'm not going to reply to him. And she'll distance herself on purpose, and she'll make it very, very clear that she's in love with me. And she'll keep him.
Matter of fact, here's another example that what Andrew is saying is accurate. Every guy who has had a girl, whether serious or semi-serious, who desires him for an extended period of time, that girl will always discuss the guy friend that she knows, because in the back of her mind, she knows that there is that not only does that guy want to fuck her, but there is the possibility of the fuck. And they use it. The reason why they bring it up in the first place to the guy, to the boyfriend that they're into, is to use it as a motivating factor to step up his game. If that was not the case, they wouldn't need to do that. They would never bring up the guy. They would never bring up the guy friend, ever.
Where he belongs, very, 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 very firmly in the friend zone with no hope, because that's her job to do. I don't have to tell her to do that. Now, if I have to come along to a chick and say, you're giving this guy too much, stop texting him. If I have to do that, then she doesn't respect me, and I'm not going to be in that relationship. I'm not going to sit there and police her phone. She'll self-police out of respect for me. If she's not doing it, if she's not self-policing, then she clearly doesn't respect me very much, and I need to understand.
All right, guys, I'm going to end it there. There's probably a lot more that we could watch. Bottom line is, Andrew's frame of mind is the mindset of a guy who is strong, who doesn't have a scarcity mindset, who is absolutely okay setting parameters, not only is okay with it, but believes it is necessary, believes that that is the role of a guy, is to set parameters. There's a reason that they call women the river and men the banks, because men guide the river. They, through turbulence or a nice slow stream, whatever the fuck. Okay. I would go in even a step further and say guys like Andrew believe that not only is it required, but women find it attractive. They find it sexy. They find it hot. Why? And this is the underlying reason: because they respect the guy. And that is one of the biggest sources of their desire for any guy, is respect. Whether it's for his accomplishments, whether it's for his status in life, whatever it is, whether it's how he is strong in dealing with her, that is what they find attractive. Yes, women care about looks, not as much as guys, but they care about looks somewhat, height, things like that. Girls always say, if he's funny, I'll date him. I'll give him a shot. If he's funny. Fuck, you know how many fucking funny guys I've met who didn't get any chicks? Please. On the other hand, a guy like xQc, so for a guy like Andrew, it's all about respect. And, Andrew gets a bad rap. Guys like Andrew get a bad rap. They're seen as guys who hate women, when it's the opposite. They love women. They love women so much that they aren't going to do them dirty. They're not going to do them wrong. They're going to tell them like it is. They're going to treat them like it is. And they aren't going to do this bullshit modern stuff. If shit hits the fan, they are going to protect them. If they're on a boat and the fucking boat starts to crash, they're going to be the ones who are the last ones off the ship. Matter of fact, in this clip, Andrew Tate gives that example. If a burglar comes in the house what would you do? And xQc literally says neither one of us would go down there, which is total and utter bullshit. And the reason xQc cannot say, fuck, I'd go down there and I'd fucking take care of business. The reason he can't say that is because in his world, anything a guy does, a woman can do it equally or better. There's no such thing as roles, except for if it's a role towards woman where she does it better. That's okay in some circumstances, but anything that's discussed where a guy does it better or that's his gender role, not okay. Because for xQc, anything that a guy can do, a chick can do equally or better. And a guy like xQc has a scarcity mindset through and through, because he wasn't always a popular Twitch streamer. Okay, you can believe that. Okay, he was not always a popular Twitch streamer. Going off of his mindset, I guarantee this guy did not start getting chicks until even a while after he became a popular Twitch streamer. And even then, I'm sure he struggles because his mindset is a scarcity mindset, which is why he looks at every chick he's with as, oh, I'm so lucky that you just bestow this pussy on me. I'm so lucky that you just bestow this sweet, gooey womb on me. If you can tell me what song that is, I'd be impressed. Icky, gooey womb. So therefore, I must praise it. And I'm just lucky that you give me the 2 seconds of your fucking day, which is total nonsense. Chicks dry up so fast from that shit. And it's a bummer that he thinks this way. It really is. I think he got totally toast in this debate. I thought this was an excellent showing for the way things really are versus this modern fake bullshit way of thinking with xQc. Again, it very much comes from the idea that as a guy, you're lucky to get any chick. Therefore, you must allow her to do anything she wants, and you cannot set any boundaries at all. You have zero power. You have zero authority. And that's what feminism has gotten us. Feminism has gotten us a bunch of weak-ass, pussy-ass men who think women are could do so much more with their lives, and they just choose to fuck him and bestow that gift to him. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys thought of this clip, of this debate. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Help your boy out. Help a fellow player out. Like, comment, share. You know the drill. I will see you homies next time. DBAP, don't be a pussy willow. In facts or feelings, because your feelings just don't matter. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.